torrent, a churning mass of brown and grey, crashed through the breach with unstoppable force. Buildings in its path stood no chance. The flood, a biblical deluge, was upon them. The city, caught completely off guard, was instantly at the mercy of the raging waters. Years of careful planning and engineering were rendered meaningless in the face of nature's raw power. Stood no chance. The flood, a biblical deluge, was upon them. The city, caught completely off guard, was instantly at the mercy of the raging waters. Years of careful planning and engineering were rendered meaningless in the face of nature's raw power. The levee, once a symbol of security, was now a stark reminder of the city's vulnerability. The river, once a source of life and beauty, had become a harbinger of destruction. As dusk settled over the city, the sky turned a deep, bruised purple. The setting sun, obscured by the thick curtain of rain, cast an eerie, almost apocalyptic glow over the scene. The floodwaters, reflecting the dying light, took on a sinister, oily sheen. This was not the peaceful transition from day to night the city was used to. This was twilight transformed into a terrifying spectacle. The floodwaters, now a raging torrent, surged through the city's arteries, engulfing everything in their path. Skyscrapers, once symbols of human achievement, stood defiant but vulnerable, their lower floors submerged. Older buildings, constructed in an era before modern building codes, fared even worse. Brick facades crumbled, unable to withstand the relentless onslaught. The water, a powerful and indiscriminate force, carried with it a deadly cargo. Cars, once symbols of freedom and status, were tossed about like toys. Debris, a chaotic mixture of shattered glass, twisted metal and splintered wood, was swept along by the current. The floodwaters, a swirling vortex of destruction, were rapidly transforming the city into a macabre reflection of its former self. And then there was the silence. The usual city sounds, the rumble of traffic, the chatter of pedestrians, the sirens of emergency vehicles, were all but gone, swallowed by the oppressive silence of the flood. The only sounds were the relentless drumming of the rain, the ominous creaking of strained structures, and the terrifying roar of the water as it claimed the city. The heart of the city, once a vibrant hub of commerce and culture, was now an inland sea. Streets laid out in a grid system that had served the city for centuries were completely submerged. Cars, their metal carcasses glinting eerily in the fading light, were scattered across what were once busy intersections. The floodwaters, reflecting the city's shattered skyline, painted a picture of utter devastation. The city's iconic landmarks, once sources of civic pride, were now casualties of the disaster. The grand old opera house, with its ornate facade and soaring columns, was now little more than a crumbling ruin, its stage a watery grave for countless dreams. The City Hall, a symbol of civic administration, stood defiant but defeated. Its lower floors inundated, its clock tower a silent sentinel over a drowned metropolis. The flood, a great leveler, had spared neither the rich nor the poor. Luxury apartments in gleaming high-rises stood flooded, their expensive furnishings ruined beyond repair. Historic neighborhoods, home to generations of families, were reduced to rubble-strewn wreckage. The floodwaters, unforgiving and impartial, had erased the lines between wealth and poverty, leaving behind only a trail of devastation. As the last vestiges of daylight faded, the city was left to contemplate the magnitude of the disaster. The floodwaters, still receding but far from gone, served as a stark reminder of nature's power and the fragility of human creations. The city, once a beacon of progress and prosperity, was now a symbol of vulnerability, its future uncertain. The dusk of destruction had settled, leaving behind a dawn of despair. The sky, once a tranquil blue, turned a menacing grey. Heavy rain began to fall, a relentless torrent that pounded the city below. Streets, recently bustling with life, were quickly turning into rivers. Each raindrop seemed to carry the weight of the heavens, hammering against the glass and steel of the city's skyscrapers. The city, a testament to human ambition and architectural grandeur, stood oblivious to the impending doom. Art Deco masterpieces and Victorian-era brick buildings, symbols of a bygone era, stood tall alongside modern steel and glass giants. Green spaces designed to provide respite from the urban jungle were quickly becoming inundated. Parks built with floodable meadows as a nod to nature's power were about to be tested like never before. The city's complex network of stormwater drains, designed to handle even the heaviest downpours, struggled to cope with the sheer volume of water. Low-lying areas, home to both the affluent and the less fortunate, began to flood first. Basements filled, streets became impassable. The symphony of the city, usually a cacophony of traffic and human activity, was slowly being replaced by the ominous drumming of the rain. The deluge continued, each minute ratcheting up the tension. The city, caught in the grip of nature's fury, braced itself for what was to come. This was not just rain, it was an onslaught, a watery siege on everything the city held dear. And as the sky grew darker, so did the premonition of disaster. The river, a usually placid waterway meandering through the heart of the city, was now a raging torrent. Fed by countless swollen tributaries and the relentless downpour, it had transformed into a monstrous force. The levee, a sentinel protecting the city from the river's wrath, strained against the relentless pressure. Built decades ago, the levee was a testament to engineering prowess, but even the most robust structures have their limits. The water, a relentless enemy, found a weak spot. A crack appeared, a hairline fracture in the seemingly impenetrable barrier. Then, with a deafening roar, the levee gave way. A wall of water, carrying with it the debris of the upper river, surged towards the city.